I think we could be in for something really, really fun and really well kind of character-led, Judgment Day getting involved, ensuring he keeps the title. Obviously, I think him and Rhea Ripley are already calling each other twins in terms of their twinning with their two world title, men's world title and women's world title. So I think this could be something really, really good for him, and I'm happy that he won it. But how long is Damian Priest going to be world champion? Because we have to look at the lay of the land. At WrestleMania, we saw the heist of the century cash-in imitated by Damian Priest. I'm still quite sour about that. Those that know and have been listening to me for a minute, you would know that I didn't want Damian Priest to cash in the Seth Rollins-esque style. I think Seth Rollins' cash-in is the greatest cash-in of all time. And it was different in the sense that Damian Priest didn't join the world title match. He cashed in after. I was actually quite happy and surprised. And, the occasion takes you when Damian Priest cashes in. I thought it was a really good cash in, and Drew McIntyre done some good work in that cash in as well. So Damian Priest is now the world heavyweight champion, which I think is necessary as well, because although that yes, currently he's not as hot as when he won the briefcase, I think that Money in the Bank as a concept was dwindling, and we needed somebody to have a successful cash in, especially on the men's side, because like I said, yeah, it's just been a bit funny for some years and it needed to look good. It needed to come off big again, which it did at WrestleMania, and it needed to be in the hands of someone that, okay, he's not quite there now as a world champion, but this is the secondary world title, and he can be molded into something and someone quite important. Seth Rollins done some great work with that championship, and now Damian Priest, he has to carry the torch and go forth, and he's already said he wants to continue the good work that Rollins done. He wants to be defending a title and all of that kind of stuff, and of course he's got the Judgment Day as an infrastructure around him. I think we could be in for something really, really fun and really well kind of character-led, Judgment Day getting involved, ensuring he keeps the title. Obviously, I think him and Rhea Ripley are already calling each other twins in terms of their twinning with their two world title, men's world title and women's world title. So I think this could be something really, really good for him, and I'm happy that he won it. But how long is Damian Priest gonna be world champion? Because we have to look at the lay of the land. There are still a lot of names, a lot of competitors in and around this title. I mean, just to reel some off, there is Drew McIntyre that he cashed in on. Drew McIntyre is not gonna go away. He's gonna be occupied with some things here and there, CM Punk namely being one of them, but I don't think Drew McIntyre is gonna go away. 1. 2, Seth Rollins. He will probably want some, say in what happens with his title. So this is the title he kind of held for 300 days, just over 300 days. So he probably isn't quite done with it, even though he lost it. You're gonna have a Gunther, I think. Gunther's recently dropped the IC title. You've got Bash in Berlin coming up, and we'll talk about that in a second, but I think his name is gonna be around the situation. CM Punk, I think his name is gonna be around the situation as well, as he gets well and more fit, gets back into the fray. I think Drew will be his immediate, head-to-head with Drew McIntyre, but he will be in and around it. And then of course we have a draft in a matter of weeks, so probably 1 or 2 other names could enter this fray that I haven't even mentioned at this point. So how long will Damian Priest actually be champion for? It's very, very interesting to think about, because yeah, it's a funny one. So yeah, I can't see that this is going to be a long title reign, just because of the amount of names that we've had around it, especially on WWE programming. We've had Seth Rollins with like nearly a year-long reign. We've had Roman Reigns with maybe 3 years reigning, 1,000 odd days. It's absolutely crazy. So I don't think we're gonna go back to a long reign here again. I think Damian Priest probably holds this title till maybe about June at the longest. And I say June specifically because we have Clash at the Castle in Glasgow, Scotland. Drew McIntyre will surely be nailed on to have a world title match at Glasgow, Scotland at Clash at the Castle, and more than likely become world heavyweight champion in front of his people. He's done it in front of the crowd now at WrestleMania, which he was deprived of, cashed in on immediately. I think this will be the proper, right, Drew's gonna win it here at Clash, and then we go from there. And that's of course as long as they secure a new contract with him, because there's talks that Drew hasn't signed a new contract, which is crazy to me. I don't believe that, but we shall see. So at the very longest, I think Damian Priest maybe till June, which gives him the best part of 2 to 3 months as champion, which I don't think is a bad thing. If you jam pack those 2 to 3 months with title defenses on TV and other pay-per-views, other shows and stuff like that, I think it could be okay. I think it could be absolutely fine. He won't like come off looking bad or anything like that. I think, sometimes the world champion, especially this not being like the marquee title, this is like the secondary world title, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's flipped around or flipped between guys too often. We expected that with Rollins. We were kind of told we would get that with Rollins, and then that wasn't the case. Now they kind of backtracked and said Rollins needed to establish the title. Cool, fair, whatever. But we now don't need another whole year-long reign, in my opinion. Damian Priest, give him some months down to June where, if it's going well, I might go past June. I might go to Bash at Berlin or SummerSlam, which is August. But it just seems that, June would be quite fitting to have Drew McIntyre win that title in front of his people in Scotland, his actual people, not when they gave us Clash of the Castle in Wales and tried to trick us into Drew winning in front of the Welsh fans. He's not Welsh, is he? So I think this could be the place where Damian Priest drops the title. But you guys let me know if you think it's going to be a longer reign, or if he's going to drop it before then. Let me know as well, and we can compare it and see what we think. But yeah, I just kind of plotted it out that Clash at the Castle is going to be versing Drew, and Drew might win it there, and then the Berlin might be the likes of Gunther stepping up against McIntyre, and then you might see SummerSlam where it could be Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk for the world title, because spoiler, I don't think Gunther will beat Drew McIntyre in Berlin. If he gets a world title match, I think they're gonna literally do what they did at Clash of the Castle, make us think Gunther's gonna win it, and it's not gonna happen. So I think that's the kind of timeline we're looking at. But I'm looking forward to Damian Priest. Damian Priest seems that, this means the absolute world to him from all the content that they've put out over the past week and stuff. I'm absolutely chuffed for him that he is the world champion. Will he hold it for long? I don't think so. I think we're looking at 2 to 3 months best, and then we move it along to somebody new and go from there.